Welcome back, folks. So today we're going to have a look at this Data Precision 5845 counter. And what I want to do with this is I want to modify it to take an external time reference, because this one goes off a little bit. It's adjustable, and I'll show you that when we get into it. But it drifts. It drifts like crazy. Like, you can adjust it to get it almost perfect, and then within an hour or two, it's running wild again. So I think the crystal in it is just aged a little bit, and rather than just replace the crystal and muck around it, adjusting it all the time, I want to put in a BNC on the back here and a little switch. I can switch back and forth between external and internal. I'll show you how that's done on this machine. It's actually quite easy. I have a good deal of experience with these. It was one of the first frequency counters that I ever got involved with way back when. They're a damn fine instrument and they work really well. I picked this one up off eBay, and I think I paid like $25 for it or something like that. And it's been in my collection for at least since 2010 or so, I'd say. But anyway, let's get the thing apart and have a look inside. Now these are dead easy to take apart too. You just have to take off a couple of screws on the back here, and you get into them pretty easily. So here we go. That's one. And two. And then the back just slides off like that, or the top slides off like that. Let's get this out of our way for now. Make things easier. So here is inside. Here's the main counter chip. There's a couple of chips over here that do the pre-scaling. This over here is the clock, and you can see it's got a little capacitor here that you can use to adjust it. But like I said, it drifts. Drifts quite a bit. Nice linear power supply in the thing. Good quality capacitors. It lasts a good long time without blowing up. The front end is all tucked away in here in a nice shielded box. And here's an interesting thing about this machine. Now this thing could take a card that goes into it, and on that card, well, there are actually various cards available for it. One had a connector at the back, so you could hook it up. I think it was to IEEE 488. And another one had an OCXO on it, and I think there was a third option where you could have both. But this doesn't have that card. And so here's an interesting thing. You see, right in here is this little, I don't know if you can see it properly, but there's this little jumper here that goes into these two places. So the very first one here is the clock input, and the second one here is coming from the onboard clock generator. And then just down here, pin 4, you have the ground. So it's a real easy place here that you just get a little header and solder the correct wires to it, bring them up here to the back, where we can put in both the BNC connector for the input and a switch to switch between the two. Now, you really should use coax, I guess, but this is short enough length that I'm just going to use regular wire. If I ever do get another spool of a nice fine coax, I may revisit this and put coax in instead. So let's get started by removing this. Actually, no, what I'm going to do is I'm going to put the, if you see here, like there's cutouts here for various connectors. Right here, I'm going to put the switch, and here I'm going to put the BNC. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to mark these holes first, because I'm going to have to A, drill this one out for the switch to get bigger, and B, drill this plate here out for both of them. So I'm going to get a pencil and just mark that and that before I take it off. That'll make it a little bit easier to locate where those things go. So we got that there. And that there. And now we can take that plate off and start modifying this. go. You can see right here where they have external in and then the switch. I'm putting the switch over here so it's a little bit closer. And here's my connection like that. And then I'm just going to use this hole here as a guide. Once I screw this in, as a guide to drill the hole for the switch. Okay, so I've got all the holes drilled and all the switch and the connector are mounted. Now I've just got to wire it up. So I have this these headers here. So I'm just going to cut off 4 of them, cut the one out in between here that's not used, and then I'll wire up ground and then input and output. So this is the switch wired up to the header here, and we're just going to install this. Okay, so here we are. Everything's installed. So we have the external coming in, going to the switch. When it switched to this side, it's going to be the internal. So that's coming up from here. And it switched to this side, it's going to be the external. And that's coming in from here, goes into there, and then goes down the green wire into the input. Well, let's turn it on. You should be able to see, I think, should be able to see up here somewhere. So here we have it on the internal oscillator. Now I know that this particular TCXO here is exactly 24 megahertz, plus or minus maybe 1/10 of a hertz. And this is right on. This is smack on, plus or minus 1/1000th of a hertz. This is an OCXO, and I'm using that as the external time base. And so now we're measuring this crystal here at 24,000,057 hertz. So let's now switch over to the external time base. And okay, so now we're seeing its true colors. It's 24 megahertz almost exactly. And I know it's only just been turned on, but it does stabilize out a little bit better. That flashing one comes maybe 1 in every 20 gating. Now we can switch it back over to the internal, and I can try and give that a little adjust. I know it's not going to stay adjusted very long. Oop. Yeah, it's a bit finicky too. Just a tiny little turn. Dave Jones would say you got to get your tongue at the right angle. Okay, there we've got it reading approximately what the external reference says. This is perfectly reversible. All you have to do is take that out and put a little jumper in across there, and it'll back the way it was, and remove your switches and BNC connector. But other than that, it's all done, and it should make this thing a little bit more stable and useful for me. And that's how it looks at the back. So I'll probably just label that up. So thanks for joining me, guys. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, please give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give me a thumbs down. If you liked what you see and you want to see more, subscribe, please. And if you have any questions about this, please leave a comment. Or if I did something egregiously wrong, which I tend to do once in a while, leave a comment about that too. Other than that, we'll see you in the next one. Bye.